The penultimate episode of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms focuses on Dunk's climactic trial of the Seven. Mostly, anyway. Because as soon as the trial actually starts, Dunk immediately gets knocked out, and his life starts to flash right before his eyes. So a huge chunk of the episode basically acts as an extended flashback sequence. And while all of the information from the flashbacks do help in fleshing out Dunk's character, putting them right in the middle of what is essentially the climax of the show did feel a little disappointing to me. Because right as the action is starting to ramp up, the narrative switches gears and goes backwards in time. So while I was watching these flashbacks, I personally couldn't help for the show to just get back to the action. Though, again, the flashbacks in and of themselves are inherently interesting, especially since we get to see where Dunk comes from, how he doesn't have a family, where he met Sir Arlen of Pennytree, and why he admires him so much. All of this information does feel necessary, I just didn't like how it stopped the momentum of the episode. That dramatic shift was more distracting than Sir Beesbury's Super Saiyan mustache. Thankfully, the episode does eventually get back to the trial, and the action in these sequences were admittedly good. Sure, it was hard to tell what was going on in the trial, and I definitely couldn't keep track of where everybody else was in relation to each other, but that helped sell the idea that we were watching this trial through Dunk's perspective. He's shell-shocked, he's struggling, he's confused, and thanks to the production and the way this episode was shot, so are we as an audience. I mean, not even his armor seems to be very helpful. So, despite the fact that Dunk may have an intimidating physique, he's clearly not built to be a killer. He sure can take a beating though, and thank God for that, because Aryan definitely would have killed him. But Dunk stands his ground, he gets Aryan to yield and to retract his accusation, and all of the main characters seem to come out alive. Though, seeing as this is set in the Game of Thrones universe, I knew that was too good to be true. So as soon as Prince Baelor came out to congratulate Dunk, I knew that something was wrong. And as it turns out, Baelor took a pretty nasty hit to the back of the head, so the moment that he takes off his helmet, he collapses and dies. Which is heartbreaking, because he did do the right thing in defending Dunk. But that's exactly why you can't get too attached to a character in the Game of Thrones universe, because whenever a character does decide to do the right thing, things don't usually end up going so well for that character. Regardless, I'm really looking forward to seeing what'll happen in the finale, especially since Dunk now has to live with the guilt that a noble prince died for his honor. What do the consequences of that even look like? I don't know, but I definitely want to find out. So while I was a bit underwhelmed by it, I still think that this was a pretty solid penultimate episode nevertheless. But be sure to let me know what you thought of this episode, and as always, thanks for watching.